Okay, for real though, get yourself some high-waisted control top granny panties because they will save your life. And no one's told me that, but I'm telling you from experience, please do yourself a favor. Link in the description. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie Lynn, and today I wanted to talk to you about all of the crazy things that nobody tells you about having a C-section, and that is like during and after, because there is so much that I had no clue about. So I just wanted to share some of the ugly truth with you, including photos and video of my recovery process and what it actually looks like. So stay tuned. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me again. If you guys are interested in material on being a new mom or being a mom of older children, having babies, I also have considered myself a natural birth advocate, but my third child, I did have an emergency C-section, so that's quite incredible how I went from home birthing a 9-pound baby to having a hospital emergency C-section with my youngest child. So please feel free to subscribe. We have frequent giveaways on my channel as well, so if you're interested in getting free baby stuff, free stuff for your kids, free stuff from Amazon Prime, please stay tuned, and I give away tons of stuff as well. So if you would like to subscribe to stay in the loop on that, that would be awesome, and we'd love to have you. Thank you so much. So I want to talk to you guys today about having a C-section. About 2 weeks ago, in fact it was exactly 16 days ago, I had an emergency C-section with my son. There is so much that I did not know about having a C-section. So I guess I just wanted to kind of give you guys my experience and some of like the ugly truths and things that like people are not gonna tell you. Like there's things that should be obvious, but like I didn't even realize. Like first of all, the minute you find out you're having a C-section, especially if it's an emergency, it's going to happen fast. And it's like you kind of realize that in your mind, but you don't really know that like the instant somebody orders a C-section, like 2 minutes later somebody is showing up to insert a catheter into you. I mean, it goes from 0 to 60 quite quickly. The preparation for the C-section takes about as long as the actual C-section itself. Honestly, the preparation for it wasn't as bad. I also want to state this right off the bat. The entire experience of having a C-section is exactly what you make it. I was really scared. I am super traumatized by medical things in general. So I was really freaked out, and I was determined to just try to relax and make the experience as good as I can, and to learn from it and to really appreciate it for what it was worth, because at the time I was having a C-section because they had been trying to put me into labor for about 40 hours. Actually, it was more than that. It was probably about 45 hours. And I wasn't going to labor, and my water was broken, and it was hitting the 23-hour mark when I had my C-section after my water had been broken. And I had developed a really bad fever, body aches and chills. So I just knew, and I accepted that my child was most likely infected, which he was. He did have to spend 11 days in the NICU and have to go through a rigorous amount of antibiotics his first week of life. So I just kind of accepted it and just went with it. Make the experience as good as you can. Try to be in the best mindset that you can. So the process to prep you for a C-section is really, really quick. All of the medical staff that I had, they were very professional, they were very friendly, they were very nice to me. They made sure that I had everything that I needed. Nobody was bothered by the fact that, you know, before and after my boyfriend had been in the room with me, nobody cared that I was holding and squeezing their hand. Everybody was perfectly fine, comforting me and, you know, doing the best that they could to make sure that I felt okay, which was amazing. And I hope that everybody else that goes through a C-section will have that same experience. The spinal tap, really wasn't bad at all. I honestly thought I had not had any drugs up to that point. There was no pain meds that I had been administered at any time. Of course, I had an IV bag running the entire time because I did go through 3 rounds of Pitocin. So they just put, I don't even know if I got morphine. One of the drugs, this was not my experience, but one of the drugs that women have as soon as they get out of having a C-section, it makes them very itchy. I did not receive that drug. I'm not sure what it is, honestly, but that was something that people frequently flip out about right after they have a C-section. So you will be numb from, I was literally numb from like my chest down. Couldn't feel anything. You could tell that somebody had their hands on you. But like I said, the spinal tap itself was really not bad. It's a very small needle. It's a very just quick little prick, and it was a very fast process, and it did not bother me at all, and I do not like needles, so that's a huge statement right there. Like I said, the process is quite fast. The C-section itself, you can feel them kind of retching around on your insides, and it's discomforting more to the mind than to the body or anything else. It's just, like I said, it is what you make it. So my boyfriend was in the room with me, he was holding my hand, and I just asked him, I just was looking at him and making eye contact with him, and I just asked him to keep talking to me, which he did. We were just making up random things to talk about, and we were joking around. We didn't know what was going on the other side of that sheet, and we did not want to know, so that's totally fine. So after the C-section, they get you all kind of sewn up. The good thing is that my scar, and this is 2018, I think they must have just did an like adhesive. There are no stitches in my skin at all, which is nice. I was really, really worried for like my first shower and feeling the water rush over me and feeling the burn, but that never happened. Another thing that I want to point out that I have not heard a lot of people talk about is that area from like my pubic bone to my belly button was numb for at least a week, and there's still a lot of numbness right now over 2 weeks later. And from what I have read and researched on the internet, it will easily be numb for up to a year, and there might be some parts of me that never regain feeling at all. I did not know this at all. Had no idea. The other thing that a lot of people complained about that is really painful is, for the most part, I didn't know this at all. You don't really realize that like your entire like bowels and digestive system like go on vacation. They take a break and they don't work like at all. So when you finally get all put back together, they immediately prescribe you with stool softeners, and getting gas and air bubbles trapped up is very painful, and you likely won't pass any gas or anything for like 48 hours after having a C-section. So a lot of that kind of gets trapped in there, and it is painful. The first couple times that you get up, it's a total train wreck. You probably won't even be able to wiggle your toes for like 2 hours. So getting up and walking around is a couple of hours away, and for me it was really, really overwhelming because my baby was immediately rushed to the NICU, and so I didn't even get to see my baby. So I'm all drugged up, like tied down to a table, and I don't even get to see my baby. So it was pretty devastating. I mean, they showed him to me right after I had my C-section, but like I couldn't hold him, I couldn't touch him. All I did was I turned my head to the side and I kissed him on the cheek. And the first thing that I said was, oh my God, he looks like Killian, which is my other son, especially like his profile. He looks a lot like his older brother, Killian. So other things that I did not know about C-sections. First of all, my hospital was great. They gave me a band to wear around my waist while I was recovering from the C-section. This literally like is God's gift to C-section patients, because it feels like it's holding your midsection together, because you have to think like your abs have just been chopped, your uterus, your skin, it's all been severely impacted. A C-section is considered a major surgery, and they did warn me about that before going in. They, you know, made no mistake, you are having a major surgery right now. And I said, thank you. Please, you can stop reminding me now. So having a waistband or any kind of waist support at all is just amazing. And from what I've read, they say to wear that for about 40 days after you've had your cesarean section. In the last week, I've been really bad about wearing it, and I did put it on just to make this video because I was thinking about it, because it is really good. It helps, it really helps to heal you. It helps to, you know, tighten up your waist again after you've given birth, which has been pretty good. Like I said, I've been bad at wearing mine, but my waist is doing okay. I did wear it pretty religiously for probably the first 12 days, I'd say, till Chase got out of the hospital. But since then I've kind of not been wearing it as much. So I am trying to concentrate on wearing it again, because I have definitely noticed it does help a lot. Another thing that I didn't know, around the incision area, around that scar, I went to the doctor yesterday, and this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this video, but my doctor told me that I am getting divots and that I have to massage around the area, and he says it's going to hurt, in order to help the fluids move and so that the muscles and the skin don't have like indentations or hard lumps. So there's like lumps right now above my incision. Below it, it looks fine, but I have I'll include video, because I did take videos of my scar. You can see like down below it's tight, and up above there is a lump. I did massage out a lot of the really hard, there was like a really hard lump, almost like my finger, even thicker than that, yesterday. So I've been massaging that, and I do feel lumps and bumps in that. So you have to massage it, and my doctor said it is going to hurt. And while I massaged it, it didn't really bother me. So I was kind of confused until every time I rolled over, because I did it before bed. They suggest doing it like 5 to 10 minutes before bed, which is what I did yesterday. Every time I rolled over, like, it hurt. And then when I was nursing Chase, like I have him, I lay on my side and I lay him on his side, and when he was like feisty trying to get latched on, he would kick, and when he would kick me, oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. So any of the medicine that they prescribe, I had stopped taking all of my pain meds. I didn't really take a lot of them. I think they only gave me like, but they did give me a higher prescribed dosage of ibuprofen, so I take those when I'm going to massage my scar, just to kind of deal with some of the pain and the inflammation from it. So it is a very inflamed area, and they did warn me that I would probably carry around fluid, extra fluid, for a month. Oh my gosh. So the other thing that I have to tell you about C-sections, this was the one that blew my mind the most, and I hated it the most. You retain so much fluid. Like, my face swelled, which that went away like the first day. My face and hands all swelled, but like my legs probably weighed like an extra 10 pounds. Like, you know, you give birth naturally and you like lose 10 pounds the first day. You get a C-section, I swear you gain like 15 pounds worth of water weight. And it didn't help that I was like on IV bags for 48 hours and on Pitocin, and I had just been pumped full of so many drugs. So all of that was like in my system, and I was so swollen. My legs were so swollen, and My abdomen was so swollen. Everything was swollen, like huge. It was disgusting and it felt terrible. So even when they're like trying to get you to get up and walk around and like feel like a normal person again, my legs felt like they were bricks. Like even though like the rest of me kind of felt okay, it was so hard to get up and walk because I was so swollen, and my ankles were huge and my feet were huge, and it was miserable. It was so freaking miserable, and that swelling lasted about a week. And I was really worried because the nurse did tell me a month. So the only swelling that I still have is right above my incision right now. My legs are totally back to normal. Everything, all the swelling has gone. Drink tons of water. They tell you to drink tons of water. Girl, I drink some water. I drank ridiculous amounts of water, and tried to eat as healthy and as cleanly as I could. And that definitely helps. So drink some water. I would have caffeine every now and then. Another thing, this was the weirdest thing that happened to me after a C-section. I developed a stutter, and I could not find any evidence of that being like a real thing, but I started having issues stuttering. And the only thing that I could really find that was conclusive, of course this is through Google, I did bring it up to my nurse, but she said she didn't know anything about it. But after surgeries, especially surgeries that are somewhat traumatic, people develop like a little psychological click or something for a while, and they can stutter. I had a stutter. I did stutter once yesterday, but before that it had probably been at least a week. But I stuttered for like a week after I had my C-section. So that is just like a really random thing to bring up, but it was weird and I wanted to talk about it. So let's think, is there anything else that was weird? I don't know. The first time that you poop though, you're gonna feel like a brand new person and you're gonna be so proud of yourself. In fact, I'm proud of you right now. As far as having a C-section, that is all of like the weirdest and craziest things that I can report to you. I know I'm probably leaving some things out, but like I said, as far as like the really, really big and like monumental things that I noticed or really hated, that kind of covers all of them. So I hope that this video helps somebody out there that has just had a C-section or is about to have a C-section. I hope that it gives you some good information. If you have any questions or comments or want to share your story, I would love to hear everybody else and what they think too. Please post below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.